Hey, I got a request for a border for a blanket I did. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that today. Um, I like to use a little bit of a thinner yarn for my borders. Um, this one is Yarn Bee. Um, uh, if you're new, my name's Brenda, and thanks for joining me. So let's go ahead and start this border. Okay, so I have my baby blanket completed, and because I didn't say before, this is the Simply Sherpa yarn, but you can use really any yarn. I've done the chunky chenille as well, but I just prefer it not to be as stiff on the border. So let's find our end. Wrong way. Or long end. Let's see, there it is. Okay, so what I do is I leave a tail so I can tie the two together. I started in a corner, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it through these two on the corner. So just put it like a stitch through there. And then what we're gonna do is take your working yarn and we're gonna go underneath the chain stitch. So now you have two, and you want to take your working yarn and pull it over the top from the back and through the two loops. And that's all you're gonna keep doing. Go to the next one. Keep that first, keep the one on your fingers, pull another one through, so there's two again, and pull this over from the back and through the two. And what you're gonna find is that each time you do this, it's gonna be creating a nice border around your blanket. So just keep that one stitch. You want to go through and underneath, pull it through, take these two, and then be sure and keep your working yarn snug. See, there's no gap, and then you put it through the two loops and keep going. Go underneath, pull it through, and then over the top and through the two stitches. And you're just going to repeat this process around the entire blanket. I just love the way it looks. Once you get finished, and we'll see once we get to the end here. Underneath the chain, pull one through. There you have two on your fingers again, and then you pull the working yarn through the two and continue. Once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. I know there's different ways to do borders, but this is just how I've always done mine. And it gives it a nice little, you'll see these little stitch lines as you go. Okay, we're almost through with one side. And this usually does not take a full skein of this type of yarn. On the corner, we're going to do an extra stitch just to make sure that that corner stays covered before you round to the next. Okay, now we're going to turn it and continue on down the side. Okay, now that we've rounded the corner, we're going to keep pulling this working yarn underneath your border, and there's the 2 stitches. You pull it back if it gets a little too big on the loop, and you pull it through another loop and grab that working yarn through underneath the chain, pull it through the 2 loops, and you end up with 1. So I hope that this was super helpful to you. I'll just keep going around. I hope everyone is having a nice day. It's finally gotten sunny here in the Northwest. I'll put a link in the description for some of the yarns that I have used for borders. That may be helpful to you. I kind of like these furry ones though. They just add a little bit of texture. I've also used the Mainstay Walmart Sparkle yarn. And what else? The Baby Bee by Yarn Bee is another slightly thinner yarn. Some people call this a single crochet border. I was raised on knitting, so not too versed on crochet. And if you'd like to leave a comment below and tell me if you have any suggestions for videos, what you'd like me to do. I love getting suggestions. Okay, we're almost to the other corner. See how nice and fluffy that looks. Pull it through the back and then over and through the 2 loops. And then again. as we're coming to another corner, I will double up again and do 2 stitches so it covers the corner well. Okay, it gets a little bit tight here. So sometimes I just leave that one loop and pull the second one through, then put it back on my fingers. Okay, so we've done another side, and we'll do this one more end. Remember, keep that one loop out at all times until you pull the other one through underneath that border, and then over the top and through the 2 loops you're holding. And you just keep repeating. Depending on how tight you knit, it may be a little snug to get through the chain and the border on the side. And I tend to knit really tight, so okay, so we're coming close to the end now of the border, so you'll want to have your scissors, and I'm going to do a few more border stitches here underneath these 2. It's a little snug, so I'm going to leave that stitch and push this through. And then pick them both up and go through. Here we are at a corner. And I'm gonna go ahead and do around the corner so that all of my blanket is covered with a border. So one more stitch, push that through the back and over the top, and there we go. Now I'm going to trim this. I'm going to pull this tight and snug, and I'm going to take this around and tie it on the back. And tie it tight to a couple of knots. There we go. And I'm going to trim this off. So it is tucked in, and I'll show you a picture of the finished blanket. And so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.